Open up the door, it's Dave!
Who?
Dave! D-A-V-E!
Dave?
Right, man, Dave.
Dave's not here.
Last time, we looked at the physical features of the car, what it looked like from the outside, the inside, how big it is, how roomy the frunk is, the rear hatch, how big each of the seats are, those kinds of things. What I'd like to do on this video is go through more of the software and some of the things that are on there and how the car actually works and some of the functions that go along with it. Maybe we'll talk about some other things along the way too, but I think it'll be interesting to take a look at it from the software side as well. One of the new features added to the Model Y that was only previously in the Model X and Model S is the bioweapon defense mode. And what this does is it treats the air quality inside the car to remove any particulate, and it actually works at the same grade as a hospital filter with the HEPA filter in there. So it's something kind of cool. Now, for the first time, I have autopilot. I didn't have autopilot in my last car, so there are some things that are very different as far as that goes that are interesting to me. I was driving this morning, and I was out driving along, and I turned on autopilot on a city street, and I'm going along, and all of a sudden someone started crossing the road. Now, he was going to cross behind me. It was clear he was crossing behind me. I could see that the way he was crossing. He was a lawn maintenance kind of guy, and I was sure he was going to cross the road behind me. But the car decided to stop because he was crossing the road. I get it, but I was like, wow, and it kind of freaked me out for a second. So as far as the rest of the controls, most of the things that you see in here, you can turn your wipers. I'm going to turn them on to auto, so when it rains, it turns them on automatically. I can fold the mirrors, do the child locks, those kinds of things, have the automatic headlights, pedals and steering. I've changed to going to standard now instead of going to chill. Comfort steering is the best for me, I think. Stopping mode is hold, so it automatically puts the car into like a hold mode when you come to a stop. Apply brakes when regenerative braking is limited. You can actually turn that on to help you manage your braking a little bit more. I'm going to play with that some more later. Charging, I'll get to that when I start charging it. Autopilot, I'm playing around with the auto steer because I think that's kind of interesting. There's a full self-driving visualization. So this is where I'll see the traffic lights and stop signs. So let's turn that on and see how that goes. Then we'll see how that works out. Then we have we can set the speed to the speed limit, offset and fixed, automatic blind spot camera collision warning. So those are interesting when you're driving. I hadn't turned those on in the Model 3 before, but I have them on now. My locks, so it's my phone that's doing it on the keys. The headlights are on auto. My dome lights, I like them to be on auto. I like them to come on when I get in the car. There's ambient lights now too. I didn't see them come on, maybe because it's daytime. So that's there. Auto high beam, I'm gonna leave that on for now. I don't know if I like it or not. There's a steering wheel light. Without my lights on, I can't see it. The display, I like it. I'm gonna go ahead and change the brightness down. I'm gonna make it auto. That's what I wanna make it. I like it probably around there, and then just make it auto. It'll pick a spot that it likes. There we go. So it's gonna pick it at 100%. Okay, that's fine if that's what it wants. That's all right. Screen clean mode, you turn it black, and then you can wipe the screen off. English, fine. 24-hour clock, I like. Percentage, miles, and I can actually change it just by tapping on it. So it goes from 33% to 110 miles. The trips so far, I've only driven the car a total of 49 miles. That's what it has in the odometer so far. Navigation, I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit. I'm fine with that as far as that goes. When I first got the car, I did not have my transponder in it, so I avoided the tolls to get the car home. Safety features, the camera-based detection, disable Sentry, so on and so on. I want my dash cam to be auto. I'm not going to set a pin to drive for now. There's the service modes that allow you to do some different things in here, so you can kind of set the car up in different ways, check your configuration, do your camera configuration. Don't want to play with those too much. I don't want to mess with software. Right now it's up to date. It will give me another version of the software shortly, I'm sure. And it offers me the upgrade, so I can upgrade to full self-driving for $199 a month. No thank you. Premium connectivity, $9.99 a month, or they have a yearly fee that they can charge too. There it is. Premium connectivity for the year is $99. I might wind up doing that. We'll see if I do, and so on. So everything's set up. Now I just want to play with it a little bit and drive around for a minute and kind of show you how some of these things work. And the screen is coming up. That's pretty neat. Okay, so the visualizations are kind of cool because there's the stop sign there and it's on the screen right there. Okay, I'm noticing as I'm making the turn here, the turn radius on this is not quite as good as the Model 3. It's not bad, but the Model 3 had a little bit of a tighter turn radius. I'm not complaining, don't get me wrong, but it's just an observation that it's not quite the same as the Model 3. And we get the visualizations of different things on the road here. See the cones and so forth that are here. Let's see what we can do. All right, so while I'm driving along here, I see the speed limit is 25 and I'm going about 25. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the cruise control just to stay at that speed. So I've turned on the cruise control by turning it on once, and I'm just letting it kind of cruise along. So it'll stay at this speed. It does adapt to any cars in front of me. If the cars are going slower, it will slow down. But it will automatically bring me up to this speed. If the speed limit were say 45 and I were doing 25, it would automatically bring me up to 45, which is kind of nice because it's adaptive to the max speed set. Now, if I pull this down a second time, what I get then is now I'm in the lane assist, so it's going to tell me it's going to keep me in the lane. And this is a little more, it keeps a little more control over the car. And I'm not convinced that I like this yet, but I was playing around with it because I think it's actually kind of neat. It's actually doing the lane assist to keep me going in the lane and to keep me moving. All I have to do to turn it off is push up on the column or step on the brake. And I'm going to go ahead and step on the brake in this case because I have a yield sign here and I want to make sure it's safe to go through the yield. So I'll do that for this one. But just to give you an idea, so now you can see I'm doing less than 25. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the cruise control, and I'm not touching the gas at all, not touching the accelerator, but it speeds me up to 25 because it knows the speed limit is 25. So now I'm doing the speed limit again. I like this. You know, I like the adaptive cruise control. It's really nice. I got a taste of it in my wife's car, and I liked it a lot. Now I'm kind of addicted to it. It's because it's so much better than trying to set a speed and watch the cars in front of you. So this is my first time coming up on a traffic light like this, so we'll see what happens when I come up to the traffic light with this signal on. Whoop, people turning in and out of the church there. I guess there's a school there as well. Okay. Yeah. I want to be able to see. You can see the traffic light. It's farther away, so it's showing it as farther away. There's a cool thing that'll happen here in a moment. You can see the traffic light out there. So let's do this. So you can see the traffic light. The bing was to tell me the light turned green. I just find it interesting the way the lights show up on the screen, and I just wanted to share a little screenshot of how they kind of appear above you. Here's another example a little while later when I went on the highway and I actually turned on the cruise control and it sped the car up from 54 to 65 miles an hour. And then oddly and unexpectedly, the windshield wipers turned on. I'm not really sure what was going on there, but they just sort of popped on when I went up to speed. On my Model 3 4 years ago, there were only two modes, autopilot and then full self-driving. So autopilot had this cool feature where if you turned your turn signal on, it would actually move you over in the lane. So I tried it here and it turned out that that didn't work. In fact, when I had moved the car itself manually, it turned the autopilot off. And that's because there's something called enhanced autopilot that you can purchase that's an additional thing that adds some of these features that you see here. Now there's one other fun feature that they added in here, and it's called Rainbow Road. And the way this works is when you turn it on, when you go into your lane assist, it actually turns on Rainbow Road from Mario Kart and plays the SNL song More Cowbells. It turns out that in October of last year or so, Tesla made a decision to take the sensors out of the cars. And they're going to go with a camera method of understanding what's around you in sort of a real-time awareness way, instead of using the sensors. And that's all fine and well, except for the fact that any cars produced between October and March have no sensors, and the camera feature is not enabled, so you do not have any ability to have a sensor system to know what's around you. So going at slow speeds, you don't know how close you are to, say, your garage door or the car next to you or anything else. So that's a problem in a way, and that's kind of a challenge to drive the car without those sensors. We get so used to things in the technological sense where it kind of feels weird that they didn't put that in there yet. Now, on the other side of it, you could say, hey, that's a feature and it's an enhancement. And at some point in the very near future, in fact, I understand that within a week or so, they're going to be rolling out this sensor camera feature to all the cars. And it'll be a beta sort of version so they can test it and they can get feedback. And we'll know how it goes from there. So I'm just waiting for that. And in the meantime, I really don't want to park my car in the garage or anything yet. I'm not used to the size of it and the scale of it and kind of how close I am to things. So I'm not ready to do that. But by the time I sold my Model 3, I realized I was really familiar with it. I had no issues with it. I was more than happy to just drive it over and move it into the garage, no problems. I didn't care. I knew exactly how it fit. But with this car, I'm not quite there yet, so it's going to take a little time for me to get used to it, and maybe I'll have to wait for the software to come before I actually try to put it in the garage. They call it parking assist, but there is no feature for that. It just doesn't exist in this car at this point. Nothing's showing up on the car. It says you have to be going under 5 miles an hour, and it should show up with different information on the screen as far as the sensors go. But as you can see, nothing is coming up. So I get closer to something, I get further away from something, and there's no sensory information that comes up. So the cameras are not enabled. It's not telling me my distance from anything at this point, which is kind of annoying in a way, but not the end of the world. I know that they're going to do another update to this to change it at some point. I just don't know when that's going to happen. All right, so we're going to turn on our turn signal here as we get to the stop sign, and you see what it does. It actually turns on the camera so I can see what's around me as I'm looking around. So that's actually kind of a neat feature, that when I'm doing that, it actually turns on the camera and I can actually see a little more. So come around the corner, and once I come around the corner, it turns off the camera again. Now, as I pull into my driveway here, I'm home and I'm going to pull into my driveway. You'll notice that there's no indication of how close I am to the garage in front of me. So I have no indication. There's no sensory anything that's going on there. It doesn't tell me anything. So that's why I'm waiting for this software update to fix this problem.
What's your point, David?